Okay, let's go.
Oh, what's up, Kinley? What's up, my guy? Let's just have a moment of silence, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive us. Bear with us. Kinley, talk to me, bro. Talk to me. That was a tough game, man. That I really didn't anticipate happening, quite honestly. I felt like Danny Dimes would have been brought back to life. I thought he was going to turn into a pumpkin. I got egg all over my face. But let me get your thoughts on this game.
Well,
This
I
part.
mean, we talked about it last episode. We talked about the linebackers versus Jonathan Taylor and Tyler Warren, and the Colts exposed us so bad. But we knew that we knew what Singleton and Strenard was. Were we hoping that they may have slowed them down even a little bit? Yes. But versus the Titans, it just showed that it was just the team they were playing, because this Colts team just flat out exposed Singleton and Strenard. They looked lost out there. They weren't quick enough, and it just was bad. It was bad overall, and we saw it coming. We were hoping that they would slow them down just a little bit, but
Yeah.
it wasn't even close. Running back Taylor's running wide open. You think you would want to cover him on running back out the backfield. You think you
Can
would
I
want to cover him,
Can I
not
tell
one,
you his stats? Can I
but
bring up the
twice.
stats? He 25 carries for 165 yards, 6.6 yards average. He had that
Yeah.
long one after Bo Nix's interception. That was in the red zone, right? That put him
Yep.
back in field goal range. They get the field goal after that. I feel
Did you
like
see, did you
momentum
see the
really
long one,
did.
bro? Did you see how, like, DJ Jones whiffed on a tackle, then Strenard whiffed, then Singleton whiffed? It's just bad. You have no speed at the linebacker
No
position
athleticism, really, to be honest. Like
or
Alex
athleticism.
Singleton is still coming off that ACL tear. Let's call it what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Maybe that's
And
setting him back a little bit. You kind of saw that a little bit last season, but now with that injury, you know what I mean? That's something to keep in mind. The depth was a question mark we really have had all this time, even after the Dre Greenlaw signing. And
yeah,
you're really ultimately this defense, the Achilles heels is
it's
the linebacker position,
linebacker.
and also being able to cover tight ends and
Yeah.
running backs. It
It's
continues
been
to be
our
an issue,
Achilles heel, dude. It's covering tight ends have been our Achilles heel for years. But the
right?
fact that now you don't have your linebackers can't help with the run game. They damn sure can't help with the pass game. I mean, what are we? You literally have to hope that Dre Greenlaw is as healthy as possible. And even when you put him in, you still don't have another linebacker that can be even, can compensate him pretty well. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
it's just hard, and Sean Payton saying the defense is missing assignments. This is year 3. Larry from Twitter made a great point. This is year 3. You shouldn't be. That's a piss poor excuse to me. Missing assignments in the 3rd year in his defense, that's a lack of execution. And you going forward, you have to do something at the linebacker position, where it's make a trade, or I don't know. You have to do something. You cannot continue to go forward with Alex Singleton and Justin Strenard. You know who they are. We need to stop trying to sit here and think that they're just going to miraculously be something. Singleton is over his 30s, coming off of ACL. He was a special teams guy. We need to stop making it seem like he's something more. Justin Strenard, special teams guy. We need to stop making it seem like they're something more. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, and I want it to be wrong. I wanted them to prove me wrong, but they proved me right once again, and I hate it. And you are
Yeah.
right. They are the Achilles heel of this defense, and overall, the defense played bad. But those
Yeah.
two guys were the bright spots. I think
And
Warren shook both of them, and he literally looked like he was moving in slow
Tyler
motion.
Warren is as advertised, going into this draft process. In the draft, what have you? Last week, I mentioned, like I said, Tyler Warren was going to be a problem. He was a problem, ladies and
It was a
gentlemen.
problem.
4 receptions, 79 yards on 7 targets, having that long one of 41 yards. He gashed us, you know. So, being able to run the ball and being able to attack the middle of the field really spared out our defense, and not really having a Dre Greenlaw to roam that middle of the field does, of course, is cause for concern. But I felt like we didn't really get to Danny Dimes too much.
Didn't. We
The
didn't.
week
One
before
sack,
we
and
had
that was
six
off of a
sacks.
blitz.
Yeah, this week we have one sack from Justin Strenard. But it's like again, you look at the line, the offensive line that the Colts have. They really beat us in the trenches. You know what I mean? They really instilled their will on this defense. And man, I'm just shaking my head. I mean, and to go back to the sequence of events that took place, I felt really good coming out of the half. We get a touchdown, we go up 28-20, and after that, I felt like the wheels fell off. They couldn't get anything really going after Bo Nix's interception. Bo Nix, though, I got to give it. After having that interception, he was still able to get the Broncos back in the field goal range to get an opportunity to, put some comfort
Go
level,
up by 5. Yeah.
cement the lead, have a one that making the Colts actually score a touchdown would have made a huge difference. Will Lutz unfortunately doinks it off the right.
Special teams, special teams, special teams. How do we get worse? How do we get worse at special teams? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Because Darren Rizzi is a guy. Darren is his first name, I believe. Darren Rizzi is a guy that Sean handpicked. I think they were mutual agreement, to come over here to Denver. I was actually excited about this, but right now it feels like this marriage is a little shaky to start off. And maybe is it personnel? I'd have to look more into it. What the real issue is, with that. But then you go down. Okay, so you get the field goal, you miss that, but then the Colts go ahead and you stop. The defense did their part on that drive, and they force a 60-yard field goal attempt. But I'm going to add this to this stage here, ladies and gentlemen. We have a penalty, and it's called for leveraging. As you can see, it's Devondre Tillman. You can't touch the long slapper.
Why are we doing that in the first place? You cannot touch the center. Why are we doing it in the first place?
Right.
Like, my thing is, and I said this last night on the space, it's a 60-yard field goal.
You don't need to touch anybody. Like, you just put your hands up right. Like I feel like you're fearing the.
That's what I'm saying. It's 60 yards. I'm not going to sit here and rush all out and go all crazy, making it seem like this is a 30 or 40-yard kick. This is a 60-yard. Just put your hands up. If he makes it, he makes it. But 60 yards, that's not a gimme. That's tough as hell. So the fact that you even do any of that is, and you saw it, it wasn't even close. Because when you're kicking 60 yards, you gotta kick
wide right. He shanked it wide right.
You can shank that sucker, and legit, it was not close. So the fact that they even did this, that's just poor. Touching the center, regardless if you rushed hard or not, is poor coaching. You can't do it. It's been a rule for years. Right. Why do we do it? The hell, they won't catch us.
And Kinley, if I may, for the viewers that aren't really too familiar with the rule, let me just read it real quick.
Go ahead.
It's jumping or standing on a teammate or opponent to block or attempt to block an opponent's kick or apparent kick, and placing a hand or hands on a teammate or opponent to gain additional height. So, it's
60 yards. We needed that. I don't understand that.
15 yards it was enforced. Then, of course, at that point, you're looking at a 45-yarder, which they made right down the middle.
Right down the middle. That's easier. That's an easier kick. People think like, oh, what's 15 yards? That's an easier kick. 60 yards is hard. You have to put so much power. You go from accuracy to power when it comes to a 60-yard kick. But when it comes to a 45-yard kick, okay, all I got to do is really focus on my accuracy. I got enough leg. So that's why I don't understand. As a special teams guy, I'm like, look, hey guys, just put your hands up. If he makes it, he makes that 60-yarder. But you know what I'm saying? It's a high chance he misses a 60 than makes a 60. Like,
right.
They even said his longest was what, 45? Dude, come on. You don't have a scouting report on this? His longest field goal he's made is 45 yards, and you expect him to make a freaking 60-yarder, and you're doing all that? That's poor coaching. That's poor coaching. And that's on Sean, and that's on Rizzo.
And honestly, and just to touch on the offense real quick now, like just to transition, like one thing that's concerning when you're talking about coaching, right? Let's transition. Like, look at Bo Nix. Okay, so yes, the attempts were brought down. You look at the run game. The Broncos did fairly well in the rushing game, right? The offense wasn't. I wasn't too worried about it, to be honest. 14 carries for 76 yards. For J.K. Dobbins, one touchdown, but Harvey wasn't really included too much. He's one of your playmakers. Dynamic playmakers. Just after having a week of 70 yards, right?
Yeah.
He only had 5 attempts for 8 yards. That's
Yeah.
head scratching. Tight end, let's pull it up. Evan Ingram, 1 reception for 12 yards on 2 targets. And
Unacceptable.
then, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Unacceptable. That's
Yeah,
unacceptable.
unacceptable, dude.
You
And
have
then
you have
Cortland
Harvey
Sutton.
with 5 touches. You have Ingram with 1 touch, and then I think you're about to get to this. Not to mention Cortland with only 1 catch for 6 yards.
One catch
That
on
is
4 targets. Yes.
that is unacceptable. You cannot call yourself an offensive genius, and you're trying to prove to everyone you can't even get Evan Ingram more targets and catches. You can't. He's your so-called joker. This is the only time
That's
I'm
what
going to
he's
get on.
brought in here to be.
This is the only time I'm going to get on Sean, because that's 2 games in a row now where you really don't get Evan Ingram involved.
And look at this pass chart. This is the reason why I put it up. Like, Bo had a solid game, right? Other than
Right.
the interception and a big part of the game in the red zone. You can't have that. He knows that. But look at the line of scrimmage, bro. Look at how many passes behind the line of scrimmage. We're not really even stretching the field by any means looking at this pass chart, keeping the defense honest.
Can I say
So
something?
go ahead, yeah.
Can I say something on the
For
touchdown
sure.
to Marvin Mims? Bo checked out of the play to throw that touchdown, right? I feel like Sean Payton is kind of pulling him back a little bit, and Bo is
This is year
trying
two,
to.
though, bro. Like, what is he waiting for?
I don't know. I do not
What?
know. Like,
And I
Sean
know I'm
loves
not
that quick game.
right, and I'm not no X's and O's guru, but like you have a defense that we talked about that was coming in without their one of their key, two of their key players on defense, one in the secondary that I thought that they would really exploit and take advantage of in Chavarius Ward, and you don't really have much of a pass rush. It felt, with what's his name, Leatu. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like our line played really solid,
They did.
but
They
we
did.
didn't exploit them.
A+ for the line, and we didn't. And we didn't. I don't know, man.
This
I
this
don't
is
know. I
frustrating.
really it's to a point where I don't know. Like Sean Payton talked about how he wants to get off to faster starts. Literally the last 2 weeks, I think I've seen this a lot on Twitter. We're 1-1, but people feel like we're 0-2 because of how
Well,
this team has played. Whether it be the offense or the defense. Well, last week you had the offense lay an egg and the defense step up. This week you had the defense lay an egg and the offense step up.
so you're bringing up the record, Kinley. You brought up the record, and I want to transition to this. Looking ahead,
Lord.
we try not to look too far down the road, but we kind of have to, bro. Because does Broncos country feel like there needs to be a panic? You come in, this Broncos team was touted as contenders, myself included. I'm victim, I'm suspect, whatever you want to call it, whatever side of the fence. But Broncos and Chargers next week. Well, this upcoming game. That's on the road.
Yeah.
What is the narrative going to be when if we do not win this game? We saw what the Chargers were in being contenders. They look like contenders, man. And then you got the Bengals. Yes, Joe Burrow is going to probably miss about 3 months, but you saw what Jake Browning was. That's not a gimme either, ladies and gentlemen. I know
Not a
we're at
gimme.
home. And then after that, you have the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Those 3 games are going to really be the test and determine what the ceiling is for this Broncos team, in my opinion.
I think
What
it's
are your
going to determine where we're at. Like,
yeah.
I I think it's going to be. Do I think it's going to be a dogfight this week versus the Chargers? Of course it is. Do I feel we can win? Yes. I'm hoping Dre Greenlaw plays because if Singleton and Strenard are out there, they're going to expose that. Like Vance Joseph has to know that teams are now going. Not now. They did it last season towards the end of the year, and they're going to do it again this season if you don't have better linebacking play. And honestly, we keep forgetting about this forgotten man, Drew Sanders. I'm hoping he comes back soon because I would rather see Drew Sanders and Dre Greenlaw than the other two. At least that
Yeah,
gives us speed at the linebacker position. But I mean, these next three games, I'm a one game at a time
I
person.
know.
I love to say one game at a time, but
Hmm.
that Bengals game will not be a gimme because they can do the same thing. And then not to mention the Eagles, you just have Saquon Barkley and Goddard that you have to worry about as linebackers. So it's not a got to be better at the linebacker position. But you know what?
Just have to worry about. But you see what you just saw what Tyler Warren and
Right.
Jonathan Taylor just
Right,
did to
and
us.
so you think you would have
Yes,
gone
sir.
into the year, even when you signed the Greenlaw, everybody was still clamoring to draft a linebacker. We needed a linebacker, draft a linebacker.
Todd Campbell was there.
They have literally fumbled drafting a linebacker for years now. And I don't understand why, because you have all this faith in Alex Singleton and Justin Strenard, I guess. I guess Drew Sanders, but he was injury prone. So he's been injured every single year. Did you do anything this year, knowing that you had three linebackers who were injured, and Dre Greenlaw, in Alex Singleton, excuse me, and Drew
Can I,
Sanders?
and can I
Like,
interrupt you real quick? Can I make a point though?
go
Like
ahead.
I get Q Robinson and we have a bevy of talent of edge rushers, but that's not. Look where the gaping hole is, ladies and gentlemen. Like I want to point that out. It's an inside linebacker position. Why did we not? Why did we feel like we needed to really invest in the edge room rather than invest in the inside linebacker position? Because
Agree.
you got Q Robinson what in the fourth. There was a good amount of talent at the inside linebacker position
Sure
that could
was.
have been had to maybe help fill a void. I know how it is with rookies, but at least you have some talent within the trenches. That I haven't had injury prone or what have you. Depending on who they selected. I
Well,
just want to point that out. Like,
that's a very solid point because Q Robinson was inactive for two straight
is he
games now.
playing? What is the impact that Q Robinson has had on the field right now?
Oh, potential. That's it.
And I get that, and I get that's what the draft is for, not to fill out. But when you have other weaknesses, I look at that and I'm like, dude, we could have done something with that. Like and that's just me being a fan. I'm not an analyst by any means, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a reporter, but this is what I'm feeling and this is what I look like. I'm not blind, ladies and gentlemen. Like I'm looking at this and being like, why,
I mean,
why
hey,
not? Because now
even
we're
the blind.
suffering for it.
You remember this? Even a blind squirrel can find a nut. I'm just saying.
It's frustrating, and I know as a fan, like I kind of try to dial back sometimes, but I'm just like, dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with this team as a whole. It's going to be tough sledding moving forward. Um, by no means at this point am I panicking, but you know what? I'm going to give my flowers to Shane Steichen and that Colts offense and Danny Dimes and put some damn respect on his name because 2 weeks in a row now, 2 weeks in a row, he's balled out, man, and it feels like
Oh,
it's
I
a good
mean,
fit. It feels like it's a good fit, man. Fit matters in this league. You've seen that. 316 yards and one touchdown, 67% completion percentage, man. He balled out. And I was like, well, the Dolphins don't really have anybody. I'll be the first one to say I was wrong. I was wrong. Wow. And I felt like when we did generate pressure, Danny Dimes was unfazed. I'm like, is that pain, man? Hold on. Let me get my glasses. I don't wear glasses. I'm kidding. But that's kind of what it felt like, man, because they were moving the football all over our defense. Now, with that being said, I'm excited to see what we do, what we need to do to go back to the drawing board. Like Sean Payton said in his presser, the film study is it's not going to be pretty, bro. You know what I mean? It's going to be, I think there's going to be some heartfelt conversations that need to be had. Not heartfelt, maybe hard conversations, tough
I agree.
conversations that need to be had. Bo Nix needs to really probably, Bo Nix and Sean Payton, because you saw that, that little spat they had on the sideline. I'm not really worried about
Good.
it.
I'm glad Bo gets on his ass.
But that's
Good.
what I like about Bo Nix, because he's like, you want me accountable, I need you to be accountable as
Right.
well, right? That's why I like that marriage that they have or whatever. But I'm expecting bigger things next game. Okay, we got to pull up our pants and let's see what we're made of now.
I'm
You
gonna
know what
say
I
this
mean?
into the mic because I just want Sean. Please give me more Pat Bryant. Please stop asking Marvin Mims to block on wide receiver screens because he's shown that he cannot do it. Please continue to run the ball. I like that, but can we get RJ Harvey a little involved? Can you please move Evan Ingram around? I don't care if you have to motion him out wide. I don't care if you have to bring him in. Move him around.
And put him in the slot.
Just show me something, Sean. I know I still got faith in you. You know what I'm saying. I know everybody's along my timeline starting to get on your ass, but I'm not gonna jump. I'm not gonna jump off the boat. Okay, so that's all I gotta say. But
I am gonna with the product that I saw on the field, I'm not happy with.
Right,
and I expect more, and that's what we as fans expect more, because
yes.
we've seen what Sean Payton is capable of. Now let's see if it's put it to work now. You know what I mean? So this was a good episode. I'm excited for next week. I'm just gonna put this one back on the LA Chargers, baby. On the LA Chargers. Yes.
Get it out of here.
Onward.
Let's get it.
Onward we go.
Well, Broncos country, we appreciate y'all for tuning in with us today. Like, subscribe to the page. You can follow us on Twitter. Follow us on our TikTok page. We're going to be dropping a whole bunch of more stuff. We really appreciate it. Go Broncos. And remember, if it ain't about the Broncos, buck 'em.
Buckem.
Peace.